There we go. Okay, we should be live, I believe.
We're live, finally.
Okay.
Good warm up. Good warm up.
Kinda.
So this is life, huh?
This is live.
How many listeners we got? Can you tell?
Just nobody.
Nobody's even listening live. Just recordings.
I got recording as well.
Nice.
Trying to check the audio from the stream itself.
I'll just jump onto my social media, send out a message, see if I can get some people on the stream.
Oh yeah, it sounds good. Okay.
There's a link.
Music off. All right. So so you guys been pretty good for the most part? Nothing too gnarly besides the gnarly shit that's been happening past week.
Absolutely, lots of gnarly shit. Yeah, other than having one of the worst weeks of my life. Really good, really good.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't complain. I'm still in the country.
Yeah,
I still have been kicked out, so we're good.
you're siphoning our good luck and everything, I guess, or not good luck, well-being, I guess.
There we go. There you go.
Yeah.
Glad I could help.
Okay. So I want to go over you guys with, for recording's sake, who you are and stuff, who you are to me, and the topics that I'd like to talk about. Also, kind of just like I've talked to you guys about, I kind of want this to be, I keep thinking of a vlog or a podcast, but really just a void where we're going to talk about topics that we agree on to talk about. I think the three of us, when we talk about these topics, it can be pretty in depth and strong in funniness.
Ooh, we're gonna dive deep.
We're gonna try to.
Uh-oh.
We'll see.
Okay.
Um, like I said, we're gonna try to keep it about an hour. If you need to stop before then, that's fine. If you want to keep going, that's cool too. I can actually stay up pretty late tonight. I'm gonna work to like fucking 11 a.m. or something. So I got some time. Are you
No, I'm
two?
strapped in, man.
I was about to say, you two all comfy, cozy, good to go.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
got my incontinence products.
That's
I'm good. I'm
awesome.
good.
Um. Okay, so I'm Tom. Uh, recording's sake. Um, I'm 41. Uh, that's all you gotta get for now. Uh, the two people that are here with me are my friends Abe and Stoba. I'll try not to use Stoba's real name. He shall stay with Stoba.
I've never heard you say my real name once in my entire life.
I've said it so many times.
I don't know
Oh,
about
wait a
that.
minute. Your name's not Stoba. I thought it was Stoba this
See,
whole time.
see, even Abe
So
knows.
it's Stoba with arms wide open. It's
Very
that
welcoming.
that's Stoba. And the other person is Abe. Abe is somebody I've known for over 20 years, 30 years now, maybe.
Yeah, over 30 years.
Wow, yeah. I met him.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I met him when he was just a little kid, and um, he's an amazing person. He has been one of my cornerstones, I would say, in life when I go through stuff. When I say that, I don't mean he's helped me. I mean he's kind of given me perspective that I didn't have before. That helped me realize what type of person I am and how I need to shape to be a better person for my friends and family. Ever growing, we are always ever growing. Uh, I won't go into too much detail right now, just for face sake. But we're gonna talk about some topics. You guys ready? Want to introduce yourselves a little bit or anything like that?
I think you introduced me
Uh,
great.
Yeah. I'll just add that I'm the token Mexican around here, so
he is.
add a little color to the show, to the conversation, as it were.
There's not feedback. He is. Yes. I'm surprised Ice hasn't found you yet. Joking.
Oh my God, it's skewing dark immediately.
Immediately. That's where I go. So the
hmm
first topic is one that Stoba and me have talked about a lot. I don't think we talked to you about it, Abe, or don't think I've talked to you about it before. That is Dolphin versus Man. Um,
Oh,
so
this old chap.
yes, it's one of my favorites. It's one that whenever I bring it up with somebody, it's always a different conversation. I like it. I figured to start off strong. In my opinion,
hmm
strong. Uh, so when we say Dolphin versus Man, I'm gonna give you the settings for that. Stova and myself have preset for this. What that is, what I mean by that. What I mean by that is one versus one. A man fights a dolphin, in I believe we said thigh high water, Stova, or was it waist high? I think it
I'm,
was thigh.
I mean, that's the real debate, isn't it?
Yes.
Because like on land, obviously the man wins,
Yeah.
and in the open ocean, obviously the dolphin wins.
Right.
So the only thing that really matters and changes in this equation is how much water it takes before it's an even fight.
Yes. Uh, and that's why I think thigh high is a good. The dolphin can get up speed, but not too much. The room, I believe, we agreed would be like a 10 by 10 or 20 by 20. I think 20 by 20, maybe
I
bigger. I can't, I can't mentally space that out. I think that's too small. I want to
I don't
say,
know if thigh high is enough. I mean, dolphins are thick, right? Their tails
hmm
go up and down, right? Not side to side like a shark.
yeah,
They need
hmm
some height.
man, no,
Or they're just
no,
gonna be hurting themselves.
they barely need any height, in my opinion. Uh, so let's talk about that for a minute. So first, the room. Let's just go ahead and say it's big enough for a dolphin to be able to swim in, to get away, get to, but also big enough or small enough for the man to where the man has an opportunity. Let's say 30 feet, 30 by 30. Do you think that's too small?
I
30 by
mean,
30
I think.
bus.
Yeah, bus. As long as a
Yeah, like a
bus.
bus long. Bus by a bus.
Yeah.
I don't know how long
That's
30 feet
no.
is.
Actually that's a good representation. I can mental that out, mental
Mhm.
map that out. I think the bus length of a bus, it turned into a room.
Yeah, about the size of like a Little Caesars.
That's so small. That's so fucking small.
You ever been
No.
in a Little Caesars?
Yes. Yeah.
It's cramped.
Yeah. It's real cramped. Man.
Oh,
Um. So when I say length of a bus, I mean length and width, length the length of the bus, but also if you turn the bus and made it into a room, a giant room of a bus. I can't
Yeah,
get it
yeah.
together right.
But
Uh,
not a bus tall, just a bus long and a bus wide.
yeah, the height does
mm.
I don't think really matters. But yes. Uh, so I'll give you the background for this. We were talking about how in open waters you can do whatever you want. Then we were talking about bum fights. Then we started doing what about a man versus animal? What would be a good fight? And we realized, well, on land we know what's going to happen. In water, full water, we know what's going to happen because history. But what if we were to constrain both into a one-on-one cockfight of man versus an animal? And we've realized dolphins are probably more lethal than we might think.
I think so, yeah.
Uh, and then no weapons. This is a hand versus fin fight. If we were to add weapons, I believe we talked about how the dolphin would either have more water or have blades on its fins. But I
Oh,
prefer
but you can't give a dolphin
no,
blades.
no, it just cut you up. exactly.
Yeah.
So it comes down to
If
more.
anything, it's the man that needs a weapon.
It's true. When we talked about this, we actually like did a little research on how hard would it be to mess with a dolphin. Like we were like, oh, we just get our hands in its blow holes and fuck it up, reach
Oh
down in
yeah,
there,
yeah,
and then we realized it's like 3 feet of a blowhole.
yeah. We talked about this like 10 years ago, and I looked up the anatomy of a dolphin. I thought you could just like reach in there and like grab a lung and yank it out, but it's
It's in there.
it's a long ways away.
Yeah.
You would need some noodle arms.
I love the thought that's gone into all of this.
Oh man,
Uh,
it's so I had this conversation with my wife and a few other people, and like I said, each time it's been slightly different, but almost each time it's been the dolphin would win. Uh, so that's why I think that with the water to thigh high, the dolphin would have enough room to build up speed, um, to be able to ram itself into the man. And if you're thinking, oh man, a dolphin would never do that, we this thought process is put into that the dolphin is designated to attack the man is designated to attack the dolphin. There is no, it won't do it. That's what they're there to do, no matter what.
I I don't know, man. Like I don't see a win condition for the human.
I
Like dolphins are tough. Like what are you gonna do barefisted that's gonna fuck a dolphin up? Realistically,
so I
like
remember,
you can't choke it out. You can't strangle it. You're not gonna knock
hmm.
it out with a sick hook.
but could you hold on to it and hope it doesn't drown you?
That's not a win condition.
No,
That's just
no,
not
it's not.
dying.
It's not a win condition, but maybe you could you
Th-
outlast it?
Is there a judge? Are we going to the scorecard at the end of
No,
three
no. I
rounds?
mean, like, uh, do you think that I see it? And that's the thing. I want to find a win for the man, but I don't see a win for him.
The only win is that you tire the dolphin out and can flip it over onto its
Yes,
back
yes.
and hold it upside down until it drowns.
Yeah, you have to drown the dolphin. Well, that too. What if you were able to just weigh it down, like pull, like since the water's so shallow, would you be able to hold it down?
I don't think so, man.
I don't
Dolphins are
think so either.
freakishly strong,
Really
and they're
are.
predators. All
That's
right,
true.
they're apex predators. Nothing even hunts a dolphin. Anytime they want a snack, they gotta race it down. It takes stamina, it takes endurance. Their cardio is probably ridiculous. For a midnight snack, they probably gotta get up to like 90 miles an hour and torpedo a fish. Unlike me stumbling out of my room to grab a cheese stick.
Well, it's so, and that's something we talked about too. The type of man or woman, whatever, would be somebody that is athletically fit, prime condition to be able to do this. Like, I think you mentioned an MMA fighter or something, Stova, and we even still like your blows when you go to hit it are softened by
Yeah.
the water. So could you gouge out the eye? And then I remember you even looking up about how hard it would be to gouge out
I,
the eye.
and even if you gouge out the eyes, then you just have a blind, enraged dolphin. Like it's not, you still don't win.
I mean, it'd give you time to rest.
Asking the real questions around here.
So the real question is if we have snacks, because this is a war of attrition, and it's gonna take days. It's like
Honestly,
electing the pope.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it comes if we're and that feels like we're even putting so much extra onto the man's side to help him win. Of like, could you outlast a dolphin fight, or could you outlast a dolphin that's there to kill you? Uh, and that's what the conversation ends up being, because it's always going to be, yes, the dolphin could probably kill you pretty easily. It kills sharks. Um,
Yeah, it would just go for your legs and then drown you. Super easy.
Hmm. Yeah. No, I think to make it a fair fight, you would have to have one of them diver's knives for the man, and that's just to kind of even things out, right? But then would it be too easy?
Yeah, I think it'd make it too easy.
Then you just you increase the water, right?
Yeah, maybe that. Maybe make it more submerged, but have one of them little knives where I mean, you're still not going to get a good swing with it, but you got something, and the dolphin then has a more 3D plane to move around in. Maybe that evens it out.
What about what about a club with low water?
Like a baseball bat or something.
Yeah, or just like a yeah, or something you can just one hand, a hammer. I don't know. Um, but
And that
then
just
Maybe
seems
one of them.
somehow a roofing hammer versus a dolphin sounds more gruesome than a diving
I
knife.
I still think I still think the dolphin could outlast could fuck up the guy in a fight like that. I think the man would have a better chance, but you'd have to get such good swings in, and when you're underwater, you can't. That's why like the knife would be better because you can jab it, you can dig at it.
I I hope to God one day a marine biologist listens to this.
Yeah, like
Just
what
three idiots rambling about man versus dolphin.
I mean it's it's like the gorilla versus 100 men. I think the gorilla would win. You know what I mean? Like man is such a squishy being. If the dolphin were to get some good hits in, or do some where they jump out of the water and they fucking slam into you, knock your ass in the water, and just keep you down.
Yeah, yeah. How much does a dolphin even weigh? Does anybody know?
They weigh like
Oh,
300 or something. You know, look it up real quick.
I have no idea.
yeah, no idea either. It depends. There's a lot of different types of dolphins too, right? Like,
Yeah, that's very true.
Let's
That's
just
very
go with
true.
a bottlenose dolphin. They weigh, wow. A bottlenose dolphin can weigh between 330 pounds to 1,400
Yeah,
pounds.
they're big ones.
I'm seeing like an average. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say average 350 to 500 based off all these weights that just popped up. So I would say three. Let's say a 350 pound dolphin. I mean that's still a fucking weight of muscle coming at you.
I
hmm
think I would legitimately have a better shot of killing an actual shark.
I I agree. A shark real that too is like a shark. I know you punch it in its nose, you fuck it up. You can really deter a shark. I feel like a dolphin you can't. I
Like I feel like a shark has to be like in the mood to hunt, you know? A lot of times they're just kind of lazy, swimming around real dumb like. But you're not fooling a dolphin. Like they're gonna know it's go time.
hmm Yeah. The problem with dolphins too is like with their intelligence, they could get malicious. Like some of the shit they do out in the wild
oh
is just
yeah,
cruel for
it
no reason, you
Oh
know?
yeah.
yeah. I've seen some sick shit that they do.
Yeah.
Definitely went down a dolphin hole a while ago.
That's a hell of a sentence,
Okay.
Tom.
Um,
Okay.
so Abe, now we kind of talked about what's your thoughts on waist, let's say waist high water, dolphin, 350 pounds, the prime of his condition, a man, MMA fighter, whatever. Your best imagination can be of somebody that could fight a dolphin. Who do you think would win?
Mm. Dolphin. I mean, especially waist high water because really thinking about it, that thing gets one good swift ram into you, and you have some bruised ribs at least or something, right? So it's like the guy doesn't have a chance if he's unarmed.
So let's trim the water back to knee high water of a of a man that's tall enough to where the water is to his knees, but the dolphin has enough room to move around, but not enough room to jump fully at full speed into the dude.
Now at that point, knee high water, yeah, I would say that's to the point where the guy could win. Now here's the thing: when you say waist high or knee high, then it becomes a thing where honestly, a little person would probably have the best shot at taking the dolphin. Ironically, yeah.
Wow.
You get my
Yeah, I didn't think
reasoning?
about that. Yeah, I actually
Yeah,
do. Cause let's say cause I'm using like a 6 foot tall man in my head when I say
right.
the water. Um, I feel like that would be like how short a dwarf, or sorry, not a dwarf, a little person. I forgot what the
No, I'm just
politically correct is for it.
little person.
Yeah, a little person. Let's say a little person. Are you thinking that, or do you just thinking somebody that's short, like a little 4 foot dude?
Well, I think technically 4 foot does count as a little person. I'm not too sure, but either or, like because if you go waist high, but that's still not enough for the dolphin to like comfortably move, then you've already handicapped the dolphin.
I like this line of thought. Nobody has suggested somebody that's small. It's always been big burly guy versus a dolphin. Uh, I honestly think a smaller. That's the thing though. I feel like somebody that's smaller. Uh, if they got hit hard once, they're out because that's a fucking 350 pound dolphin coming at them.
Right, but that's the thing. I mean, at that point, so there's actually this thing in baseball, right, that happened, I believe. I'm not too sure on the details, but I remember there was way back in the day, there was sort of a little person as sort of like I'm not sure if a mascot or like some, but they had him go up on the mound to hit, and he got walked because the strike zone is so small,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Oh
So
wow.
so so same thing here, right? Like you're throwing out qualifiers, like you're not saying 3 feet of water or 2 feet of water. If you're saying
Hmm.
like waist high, knee high, like then you can definitely fudge with the numbers, right? It's
I see. Okay, so
yeah.
let's make the numbers for the water more precise. Let me look something up.
Hmm.
It's a tough fight, no matter how you cut it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, the only way the man wins is through technicality. It's like, oh, you can't have too much
Yeah.
water since I'm short, or whatever.
Like
So
there's just no way to kill a dolphin barehanded, like as a human, unless you're like Brock Lesnar and you can literally pick it up and just pile drive its snout into the ground.
Yeah. I I think
Your
you're
only
both right.
hope is like climbing onto its back, jamming your arm down its blowhole, and just holding on for dear life, wondering who drowns first.
That that's something too with the smaller. So let's say the water would be enough room for the dolphin to swim at a decent speed, not deadly speed for somebody that's smaller stature. But and let's say the person that's smaller stature would be able to. I feel like if their hands are small, uh, could they? See, that's the thing. I can't remember if. Okay, sorry. Could the smaller person stick their hands into the blowholes to obstruct the dolphin's ability to close it to hold their breath when they go underwater?
That is a great question. I actually don't know how big a blowhole is. I
Um,
just always imagined that I could fit my entire arm in one, but that
I
might not
mean,
be
I
the
don't
case.
know. You might have to have a smaller arm for that. Hmm.
see, that's why.
Also, another important question is this dolphin female or male because things can go really bad if it's
Oh,
male.
you know it's male because it's gonna fuck you afterwards.
Oh no! What do you mean afterwards?
Yeah, probably during. That'll be how
Uh,
you actually lose. A blowhole is
yeah,
6 centimeters in diameter at its widest point.
How the heck? Tom, I'm American. I have no idea what
I,
6 centimeters is. That could be a Coke can. That could be a football.
about two,
two
2 inches
inches.
more or less.
You could get some fingers in there. Maybe drown it that way. Hold on to it. I guess it depends on the strength of the blowhole being able to close or open or whatever.
Oh shit! Imagine if that thing rips off your fingers.
Oh yeah, that.
Oh God.
So I feel like no matter what, people, everybody that I talk to, it's dolphin's gonna win. There's no way a man could beat a dolphin. And the only way that a man could win was either he has a weapon or he like you said, war of attrition outlasts the dolphin. I don't think he could outlast the dolphin either, because even like when they're out of stamina, I feel like they could still outswim you and just stay the fuck away from you.
Yeah, yeah. They're physically dominant.
Yeah.
That's shitty, man. I want to find a way for the man to win. I hate that that's where everybody lands. Um,
If the contest is man versus aquatic mammal, maybe we just got to pick a different one. Maybe it's like man versus manatee with a knife.
oh, poor manatees. They just want pets, man.
They're used to dealing with blades, though.
Yeah, yeah. Fucking sliced up.
Well, I mean, if it's just man versus aquatic animals, we have a pretty good record against baby seals.
Oh man, yeah,
On land.
yeah.
On land, yeah.
That is rough. Um, so I guess no matter how we cut it, we're landing on Dolphin's gonna win, huh?
Yeah.
Unless you restrict the water down to levels that like you can't even broadcast because it's so cruel. We haven't even established that a dolphin is able to consent to a death match. Like this
No,
seems cruel no
so,
matter how you slice
so
it.
no, I want it to be known the dolphin. The thought of this process is that the dolphin has been trained to fight a man one on one. It
But does it want to fight a man?
it doesn't matter. The man doesn't want to fight the dolphin, but guess what? He's gonna get
I,
fucked
I don't
after
think
that
that's how
dolphin beats
consent
it.
works.
Yeah, there is no consent here for either of them.
Oh
This,
Oh,
shit.
if you
they're
Oh
remember,
thrown
shit.
into the pit
yeah.
like Luke versus the Sarlacc.
So so again, going back to the original conversation, the idea was that Stoba and me have a yacht that's very big, and we talked about bum fights on it, bets, because we were talking about the bum fight thing that happened, like 20 years ago, wherever.
Oh, what, like you just sail out to
Yeah.
international
Yes,
waters and everything's legal.
yes, and so it turned into what could a man fight that would actually be worth betting on. So there is no consent. These dudes are there to die and fight. Period. Um, Dolphin Dolphin's gonna get a fish for its victory because it's probably gonna win.
How do we already know the billionaires aren't doing this on their mega yachts?
I
I
would.
mean, we don't.
Yeah, we don't.
Didn't Jeff Bezos just build like a $300 million yacht or something?
I dude, remember seeing somebody put this is a cruise that I was on, and then showed the yacht that was next to it that was bigger than the fucking cruise. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, there could be some. I mean, I know there's wild shit going on out there, but that was the thought process. Is that it doesn't matter what either the man or the dolphin thinks. One, both go in, one comes out. War of attrition it out if you have to.
I like the thought that this is what the billionaires are doing with their money out there. because I'm sure the truth of it is way worse.
Oh
But this
yes,
is like a cute version of like, oh, you know,
Yeah.
yes,
like I wish this was what was going on.
yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah,
Sadly, I
yeah,
mean, when you
yeah.
have that much money, you
Hmm.
mind starts going into weird places. I would imagine.
I mean, how evil is a man fighting a dolphin to the death compared to the evils of capitalism?
Right, right, exactly.
So I think the we are all agreeance that the Dolphin would win. It's bullshit, man. I hate it. I hate it. I feel like the only way would be like you said, if the water was so low that the dolphin could just swim, and then all it could do is just outlast you by staying away the fuck away from you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you even fight out.
Yeah, I just having flashbacks to watching Flipper as a kid when I was watching on Nick at Night.
Maybe you could just like slowly heat up the water to keep the match time down.
I could see maybe if you made the room small enough to where the man could corral the dolphin into running into the walls or something, but even then, it's trying to get it's who's gonna outlast who, and the dolphin's in its natural habitat of water, and you're kind of a mix. You're gonna run out of stamina way faster than the dolphin too.
Just start them on opposite sides of the room and put a gun in the middle.
Yeah, yeah. Or it could be instead of one versus one outright. It's all right. The dolphin is trained to kill a man. Can the man last X amount of time and then be given a weapon to kill the dolphin, and then he has to kill the dolphin?
Man, haven't we already had like dolphins in the military trained to do stuff?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, right, right.
Yeah, I mean the orcas and dolphins are so smart. Like, have you seen the fucking orcas that they create a wave to flip the ice over so they can eat the
Oh
fucking
my
sea
God,
lions?
I have.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they teach their babies and shit
Mm-hmm.
to do it.
And they started doing it to like small ships or something.
Yeah. I
um,
mean, who's to say we still don't have dolphins in the military and other aquatic animals? I mean, have we ever questioned why they actually call it SEAL Team 6?
just six seals going on a mission. All right, so I think we've kind of gone through that topic pretty good. Do you guys feel the same about that?
I I think we're
Yeah.
gonna have to revisit it,
I
honestly.
I do too. It's got me thinking. How can a man win? Because that's the thing. That's the whole thing for me about it is I originally thought immediately Dolphin's gonna win, and then it's turned into could the man win? And now it's a puzzle in my head for how can the man win without it being cheap? Because that's, in my personal opinion, where human humans go is we make stuff to get to our end that we need to do. So it would be a weapon. You know, a man makes a
Yeah,
weapon, kills the dolphin. Um, and I feel like every time we talk about this, and every time we talk about with anybody, it turns into what you said, Stova, which is a war of attrition. Who could outlast who? Uh,
yeah.
so I'm kind of starting to lean towards what if the man has the time limit that he has to survive before he's given an opportunity to kill the dolphin? And when I say opportunity, I mean he'll be given the knife, and now he has to use the knife. Um,
Oh, the rules just get more and more convoluted.
yes, I feel like I think I need to
What
revisit.
if what if we just start off with the dolphin injured? What if you get like two stabs before the fight even starts? Like this is absurd.
Yeah, you're allowed to cut the dolphin in one vital spot. make it a good one, and then you have to start the fight. And then you just
Oh
wait for
my
the
god,
dolphin to
it's
bleed
so
out.
cruel.
It is. It's very cruel. Um, but I mean,
Well, I mean, that's sort of how they do bullfights, right? They
hmm
kind of stagger the odds as is, like.
Yeah.
yep. They wear the bull down until and stab it as it goes until it can't go
Mhm,
anymore, and then they do the final blow. I remember my
And you
mhm.
remember Russell Crowe in Gladiator.
oh yeah,
He gets shanked right in the ribs before that final fight with the Emperor.
oh, so fucking rough. I remember my dad telling me he went to a bullfight once. He said he hated it because he said he watched them kill an animal and that was pretty much it. Um, but all that aside, I think it trying. I'm going to look at this topic again and try to give it some rulings of height of water, time spent before the man is given a helping hand. I think that that might be good because as humans we tend to kind of do that. We find an answer, and putting a man in water with a dolphin and say fight it is just a, sen- a sentence to murder, a death sentence
Yeah, for sure.
for the man.
I think what you really need is you need to do an interview with like a dolphin trainer from like SeaWorld or something.
Could you imagine that conversation? So I just want to talk to you about what could a dolphin? How long could it take before a dolphin runs out of stamina in about 3 feet of water? And then just being like, why are you asking? I'll just try to figure
Look,
out if a man.
they would know.
They
They
would.
would know.
They
Like,
would.
and you know how those orcas just kill whoever they want, right? And they
Oh my
stop letting
god,
trainers
man.
even
Yeah.
swim with orcas.
So
Orcas are
sad.
just big dolphins, right?
They are. It's funny when I was searching up that stuff, orcas were brought up first, but
Yeah,
they are.
I'm sure a dolphin trainer would have like insights that we don't even know. Maybe they would just say it's the man every time. Orcas or dolphins are soft. They can't do nothing. They're pathetic.
There's no way.
They would just blow our minds.
Yeah, you never know. That's true.
Like, I've never even touched a dolphin. What am I doing commenting?
See,
I'm completely uninformed.
I
I've been fooled by Hollywood.
I base it on. I think of it as a dolphin is more muscle than than us. So or if I saw somebody fight underwater with a person, their punches are probably felt, but they're soft as fuck. Um,
Mhm.
They've got to be so like their organs are probably so
hmm
far inside their body to insulate them from the cold. Like it's probably just inches and inches and inches of cartilage. They
yes,
probably feel no pain.
yeah. I mean, and with the stuff that they're able to do, I agree with that.
And they're hard. They go their
Hmm
entire lives never being able to scratch anything. Their entire bodies. They're so tough. God, I can't even
Well,
imagine.
Fuck dolphins, man.
and well, the problem too is you're talking about man. We're meant to be on land, so we're already out of our element. Like I'm
Yeah,
sure a lot of shit can take us in the water.
That's very true. That's very, very true.
that's a good point.
I think that remembering back to the original conversation, I believe still, but we even got to this point where we're like, at this point, we just need to give the dolphin feet.
Yeah, I'd fuck a dolphin up on land for sure.
God, yeah. Beach dolphin getting wailed on.
Place your bets.
Sad, sad. Uh, so we'll go to another topic. Do you guys have any you kind of want to talk about from the list, or you want me to just pick one at random? Do you want us to go to the paranormal? What are you thinking?
Dude, I have no idea. I'm just glad we're done talking about animal cruelty. That was
Hey,
it's a real adventure.
See, that's the thing. It's not animal cruelty. It is but the dolphin, the dolphin's the one killing a man. I mean, it's
And
forced.
you're the one trying to equalize it.
Yes, yes. It's it's not right. I know it's so bad. It's bad.
Ugh.
Um, and of course, it's bad.
One last thing to say about the dolphins.
Yeah.
We could always just shrink the dolphin, right? If it's too tough, you could just go with the smaller dolphin. You
Mm.
get the dolphin small enough, you could just grab it by the tail and pick it up and fling it.
So what you're saying is we should take a baby dolphin and have that be beaten by a man.
Maybe like a teenager dolphin or something, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
Or
maybe
just
like
like a different
a
species. There's river dolphins. There's all kinds of dolphins.
maybe like a 150-pound dolphin instead of a full-blown dolphin, 300 something.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's the one variable we
There
didn't mess with.
there are a lot. I did see were a lot of 110-pound dolphins, 150-pound dolphins. Um, I think that'd be way more manageable. It's just when I go to dolphins, I always think of ball-nosed dolphins.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah.
Or maybe we just increase the number of men.
No,
Yeah, I was
no.
thinking that too.
I like it to be one versus one. I feel like once you start going with that, it really turns into uh shifts of fighting while one rests instead of an outright
Yeah.
fight.
And it just wouldn't be fair, honestly. And that's what matters most of all.
Yes, that way when the bets are placed, man, it's a gamble instead of well the dolphin's gonna fucking win.
And if you don't have your odds locked in for this yacht full of
Mhm,
millionaires,
mhm.
you're gonna go bankrupt your first trip.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Just
The
pay
house
it.
can't cover that.
Yeah, we're out of money. All right. Any other last thoughts, words,
That's all I got.
Abe?
Um, no,
Okay.
no.
Okay. We may revisit this. I may sit at work and think about it and try to put together some numbers instead of just concepts.
For the
Um,
record, I love dolphins.
yeah.
I
Well,
don't.
that,
Jeez,
that's cool.
messed up, man.
I mean, they're like whatever.
Yeah, they're another animal. I like
They get
dolphins.
into those tuna nets, it's their own fault.
Yeah, exactly.
I I like dolphins because I used to watch Flipper as a kid. That's the big thing for me. It's such a awesome
Yeah,
show.
they just remade Lassie with the fish.
Yeah,
Did
I was
they?
just thinking.
Did they really?
Yeah,
What?
yeah, that's what it
Yeah,
was.
that's the format.
Oh God, man.
Yes.
Fuck that.
Sorry to ruin a childhood memory. I
It's all
watched a
good.
lot of it myself.
I watched a lot of Lassie as a kid too. All I'm picturing is a goldfish in a bowl. I know that's not. I'm assuming that's not what it is, but that's why I picture in my head of Lassie as a goldfish in a bowl. And when Timmy falls in the fucking well, Lassie like pushes the bowl off the side, so like the mom's holding the fish dying, going, "What's that, Lassie? Timmy fell in the well."
I don't know if I followed that analogy, but I'm with you, man. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah.
And yeah, okay, so do you want me to list two topics to go from? You want me to just pick a topic?
You just pick one,
Pick,
man.
pick, pick a topic. I'm ready.
All right.
I'm warmed up. I'm firing on all cylinders.
Good, that's good. We'll just go down the list. Let's talk about some paranormal things. I want to talk about Stoba's favorite. I'll be honest with you about this, Stoba. When I was talking about this with a couple of people, they're like, "You shouldn't talk about that." People have talked about that for fucking ever. I don't give a fuck. I think that, and it's only because this is the void for us to talk about stuff, and I know that you have information, and when I say that, I mean I know that it's deep within you. You kind of watch it, you kind of look for it. Um, am I right?
I don't even know what we're talking about, man.
Um, so with paranormal things, this is a topic that I want to talk about a few different a few different times about a few different topics. I don't want to always be the same thing. Uh, and I feel like you have your stuff, which we can talk about. I have my stuff. I don't know what stuff. I think Abe has a few things too. Um, for now, I want to talk about what I believe, Stoba, you are very entrenched in, which is
Oh,
Bigfoot.
very entrenched.
Mhm.
Bigfoot.
Mhm.
I've never actually seen Bigfoot. Full disclosure, I lived in Hawaii for like 25 years. They don't really do Bigfoot out there.
Right.
So I didn't even have a hope of seeing Bigfoot.
Right.
But I'm kind of in like the Fox Mulder situation. I want to believe. It's
Okay.
so much more fun
See, that's why
to
I
believe.
wanted. That's why I wanted to get see, because I knew you were new, or like you. I didn't know how deep you were. So do
I'm
you
all in. I'm all in.
do you,
Bigfoot's real and my friend.
do you want to talk about that, or do you want to talk about a different paranormal thing?
Dude, I'll talk about all things paranormal. We don't got to stick to just one.
I'm cool with that.
Why limit ourselves?
So then, what's your true thoughts on that, on Bigfoot, and then we'll go to another paranormal thing.
All right, Bigfoot. Let me sell you on Bigfoot real quick.
That's what I'm looking for.
Thousands and thousands of eyewitness accounts, dozens of credible, really good Bigfoot videos. All right. They don't all got to be perfectly true, right? Some of them are hoaxes that fooled us, this and that. But if even one of those people is telling the absolute truth, if even one of those videos is real, then Bigfoot's just real, straight up. Not that we know what Bigfoot is. I mean, Bigfoot could be a million things. Bigfoot could be a ghost. Bigfoot could be an alien. Bigfoot could be a monkey. Bigfoot
I
could be an
see.
interdimensional alien monster thing that we don't know nothing about. They could be
Cosmic
fourth
horror.
dimensional.
Yeah,
And I don't even know what fourth dimensional things are.
Hmm.
I like.
But yeah, it's way more fun to believe.
Yeah, it is.
Listening to spooky stories and people's accounts. God, I love that.
Okay, so we're going to thank you for that. Um, I think I understand where you're coming from with that a lot more than before.
Yeah, yeah. Jump
Uh,
down the rabbit hole. It's fun.
so I
I
think
got I got some thoughts on Bigfoot.
go for it. Yeah.
So, just first and foremost, the logical side of me says, well, we know that there used to be different types of uh people, right? Like humans
Mhm.
weren't just we didn't start as this. There's records, et cetera, et cetera. And we know that a lot of the legends, et cetera, come from the past. So maybe there was a point where there was something that might resemble a Bigfoot. That maybe it was the Neanderthal or what have you. That's the logical side of me, right?
Mhm. Just a
Now,
remnant of the past that hasn't yet died out.
right, because there was this thing where there was this tribe that I forget where, but that they would speak of little pygmy things that would come up from the mountains to steal the babies, right?
Mhm.
And it turns out that they did find skeletal remains from like tens and hundreds of thousands of years ago that had like they were basically like what these people were describing. So those tales obviously must have originated from that, right? So that's one side of it. The other side of it, you know, with all paranormal things, or at least the way I look at it is, well, what really is reality, right? I
Mhm.
mean, I've seen some things that make me even question reality, right? We don't have to get too deep into that, but like, you know, um, I think that reality isn't as solid as we all like to believe it is. And so once you have enough leeway in, the belief structure, et cetera, that holds reality together for us, then, who knows what's possible.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I like the outlook on that. The whole once you break it down, what really is real, more or less. It being more about what you believe is real compared to what you might see or think, hear, or see that's real.
Hmm.
I like that. Uh, so then let's talk about something else paranormal. Then, if we got time, we'll do another topic. Does that sound good for you guys?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What you got? What you got that's paranormal? What's your favorite?
Man, I I personally do like the thought idea of aliens and stuff like that. Sorry. Um, but I think the one that is most in tune with me is more along the lines of like shadow people and ghosts and spirits and things like that. Um,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily. I really feel like I don't believe in much of anything besides what I experience, and kind of what Abe said. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's what it is. It's what it is. You know what it could be, a different reality, whatever. It's how my brain perceived, processed, and told me this is what it is. Uh,
Right.
every ever since I was young, I've always had weird experiences. I remember when we lived in New Jersey, um, I uh, I would go to sleep. I wouldn't be able to fall asleep. My brother and me shared the same room. Um, and I think I want to say I was probably like 5 or 6, maybe even younger, maybe 4. Um, yeah, before kindergarten. Before I ever went to kindergarten, around the same time going into kindergarten, I remember very vividly looking over at my brother, seeing that he was asleep, and then looking at the center of a room and seeing 3 people stand there and just staring at him. A lady in an old dress that had an apron on, two middle-aged men, one behind the other. I couldn't make out the one behind the other because he had a hat on. The one in the middle looked like he just got done working at like a warehouse or something, like an iron factory or some bullshit. Uh, in the same place, same house, I remember a lot of weird stuff happening. Um, like there was this one time where I went into my sister's room and I got something from her bed, I believe. And I left the room. And after I left the room, we heard a loud bang, and the entire dresser had been pushed over or like fell over. I like to say fell over because obviously don't know what the fuck happened. There was nothing wrong with the dresser either. It was very solid, so I don't see how it fell. But certain things like that would happen very frequently in that house. So I might not believe it was something paranormal, but it was just definitely something odd, something different. And then the whole shadow people thing. Uh, I know sleep. I know it's everybody says it's sleep paralysis. You know, to a degree, I agree with that, but I also don't. Um, with
I've had sleep paralysis before. It's very distinctive.
it is. I've definitely experienced when I had a really bad. So what? I word it, man. It's hard. Um, so with me, what would always happen is I'd be going to sleep. I start to fall asleep. I'm asleep. I suddenly wake up, and I sleep with a fan on all the time.
Hmm.
And the fan would turn off. Just I would go to turn it back on. It's not that it actually turned off; it lost power. So I'd look to always make sure to see if like from the bed, I would move from the bed, staying in bed, reaching over, make sure it's plugged in, and then I'd look around to see if like the VCR light was on. It was all that stuff. The fan would just stop.
That's bizarre.
So, and this wasn't like the same fan over and over. I've had multiple fans that this just happens, and it just dead as fuck. I would lay back down, and then I would start to see shadow people. It used to be one or two, very, very light, kind of just in the background. Every now and again, a lot closer. And something with the shadow people that I've seen, I've always talked to people about this that have seen them, and they're different than what other people have seen. People always talk about the man in the hat, the dog-like ones, all that stuff. I've never seen that. I've only seen humanoid-shaped people, shadow people. Um, just
That is creepy.
it's weird. It's really weird. The
You say shadow people and describe them. You're like, you saw a woman, a man, a this, a that.
so
What does a shadow person look like?
I think the best way I can explain that is um trying uh, something that freaked me out once was one day my mom was leaving for work. I went to go say bye to her. Uh, we were in the hallway and we were talking, and then her entire face just became black. And when I mean black, I mean it looked like something was casting a shadow over it, a shadow so deep that you couldn't see any of her facial features at all. Uh,
Whoa.
and I turned on the light and it was fine. I turned off the light and it came back. She even moved her head around and it was like that. That's what I mean. A person about, I would say, 6 to 7 feet tall, maybe. Um,
Pretty tall.
but every single aspect of them was the silhouette, walking silhouettes that were in 3D form. Uh,
That's about the spookiest thing I can imagine.
yes. Um,
I do not like that.
no, it was is never pleasant when it happens. The one time I did have sleep paralysis, that was the worst time I had I seen that happen.
Really.
Yeah.
It was sleep paralysis accompanied by a shadow people.
That's what a lot of people say is that it's supposed to be because your mind is half awake, half asleep, or whatever, and you're half dreaming them and stuff like that. That's what a lot of people say. Um,
I've had sleep paralysis, I think, 3 times in my life. And each time like I went to sleep like normal, but I'd wake up at like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m.
mhm,
for no discernible reason. And my eyes would pop open and I would be completely unable to move. Usually I'm a side sleeper, so I'm like staring straight at a wall.
mhm,
And I'm like, this is awkward. But immediately, like, I would
Hmm.
realize this is sleep paralysis. I've heard of this. And I would have to wait like 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes to like regain my motor functions. But I never saw anything. It was a little creepy that I couldn't turn around and look behind me.
mhm. So for me, I was laying in bed. I had been asleep. I woke up. Like you said, it was like 2 or 3 a.m. My fan. I, I woke up and I was able to move just fine. Nothing going on. Um, uh, because I was like, oh, why am I awake? My fan slowly turns off. So I unplugged it, plugged it back in, did normal routine. I laid back down fully, covered myself up to my neck, and I just go, oh man, why is this fucking happening again? Because I was so tired of. I knew that was the sign that I was about to see something. Was
Mm.
the fan was off, and there was no way
Do
to
you
turn the
sleep
fan.
with like any lights on, or is it like pitch black or what?
It was pretty pitch black. There was enough light to illuminate the room from VCR, computer, whatever monitor type of deal. Uh, Monitor like in sleep mode.
Incidental night lights.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Gotcha.
Um, so laid there for a second. Um, and then I started to see the shadow people form coming through the wall, through the door, the closed door. Uh, it was normally I would only see like one or two, normally just one, but this time there was I want to say 5 to 6 roughly. They slowly, and when I saw them, I is when sleep paralysis hit, and I couldn't
Right.
move. Um, so I remember closing my eyes and thinking, okay, this is just all in my head. It's gotta go away. I'm just dreaming. This isn't real. I'm so tired of this. This is so dumb. I'm so tired of this. Opened up my eyes and they were much closer to my bed. And then I remember one of them pointing to the wall and this black ooze, the best way I can describe it, uh, started coming out of the wall and dropped onto my bed. I remember feeling that go cover my legs and slowly just cover, going up me and covering my entire body. I remember that I felt I was so kind of done with it. I don't know how else to put it. I didn't want to experience this anymore. I hated that I couldn't control it, all that type of stuff. I wanted to fight back. Is the feeling I got. So,
Right.
so I started to think about, okay, how can I push this off me? I have to be able to move. I remember thinking, okay, I can move my head, and then my head couldn't move, and I was like, okay, I'm being held down. I'm going to fight this off me. I remember having a segment of thoughts that led to me basically saying, "This is in my head. This is done. I'm over with this. Uh, I'm I'm not okay with this anymore." Uh, in a much more aggressive tone and manner, though I can't remember the exacts. Uh,
I imagine so, man. With that going on, you'd have to be pretty aggressive.
when that happened, the ooze or whatever that was slowly consuming me shriveled back up, crawled up at the wall, and went back into the wall and disappeared. The shadow people all started to slowly back away and just slowly dissipate into the walls or into the air. Ever since
That is creepy as hell.
ever since then, I've only seen them in corner of my eyes, or there's been times at my last place we lived where um, I feel like they're just fucking with me because I'll wake up and I'll text my wife or something. She's out doing something, whatever. I'm laying there, and then I'll just see somebody run around the corner into my room really quickly, but then disappear like in one frame. Um, Stuff like that. Very momentary things. Um, Ever since I did that, that's what I now see compared to them just standing in my room watching me.
Well, that sounds like an improvement.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess.
I
Um,
I
I
know there's some parallels there with like a lot of alien abduction like stories I've heard, right? Like a
mhm.
lot of times that
yeah,
happens to people at night. They wake up, they're surrounded, they're
yeah.
paralyzed. Like I wonder if those are like two distinctly separate experiences or if they get conflated with each other.
So that's something too I've thought about. What if it is something along those lines, and that's how my mind just perceives it or tells me this is what's going on compared to what's really going on.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean that is a theory that when the mind sees something that can't comprehend, that it just puts in whatever placeholder so that you can kind of wrap your mind around it, you know?
Yeah,
mhm.
you need a framework to to attach those ideas to. That's spooky as hell, man.
Y-
Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
I grew up in a pretty haunted house. I never saw anything too visually crazy. My sister says she saw a guy, like an old timey guy, walk past a doorway, and I totally believe her because she's very level headed. Doesn't believe in much else. But I had some weird experiences in that house. Not shadow people though.
You
that
know,
go for it.
I've had some shadow people myself, mainly when I was on drugs. But hey, look, the way I see it is, I can explain about 99% away of everything I experienced and saw as it was drugs. But there's still 1%, and that 1% is enough. You know, like
Hmm.
the way I think of it is, and this is sort of, again, sort of my the way I started off with the Bigfoot thing, the realities thing. You know, it's like, imagine a television set. You know, it's set to channel 4 or whatever. You
Hmm.
know, maybe sometimes channel 5 comes through a little, or maybe like things on other channels of existence are at the point where they can start to like bleed into our existence or what have you. I think maybe even that's where like the idea of angels and demons come through, like benevolent or evil entities from outside of our existence or understanding that start to like fuck with us. You know, it's uh, it's definitely something that I think is, but at the same time, it's nothing that we could ever necessarily prove. You know.
Yes, yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, totally.
And then what you said, Stova, with it having parallels. I see that's something that I think I told you recently. I recently had a memory unlock for me from when I was a kid of, I believe, is watching my sister get abducted by aliens. Um,
Oh man,
he, I
that's creepy.
yeah, I remember the this house we lived in. I had to have been like, my God, like 3 or 2. I guess I'd always wake up in the middle of the night and go climb into my parents' bed, just because I felt safer, whatever, you know. But I remember one day waking up, and I actually remember 2 times. One time I remember waking up and looking over and seeing 3 beings standing in front of my sister's bed and more or less blinking, and they were gone and she was gone. Um, and then I remember another time where I woke up and she was just gone. I even like went to go look for my parents, but they were watching a movie or something. I was afraid I was gonna get in trouble if I said anything. I was thinking, okay, well maybe she just went to bed, so I went back or went to the bathroom. Went to the bathroom, she wasn't there. Went back to bed, thinking, okay, well maybe she's watching the movie with them or something. And then so I laid there for like an hour and she never came back. And went to sleep, and when I woke up, she was back. Of course, she could have gone anywhere, whatever, but um, she at the time would have been, I would say, 8 years old, I believe.
Hmm.
Um, but that memory, to tie it off with that, or tie that memory off, is one day, my sister, my mom, my other sister, sorry, I have 2 sisters. My mom and me were talking about how my one sister refuses to talk about UFOs and stuff because she believes she was abducted. She confided in my other sister about it. And then my other sister, when she was talking about it to my mom, she even said to me, "Don't you remember, Tommy? You even said some people took her in the night." Um, and I was like, "I don't remember that at all." And then 20 to 30
Man.
years later, I now have this memory of one day I was just thinking about when we lived at that house, because I had a recurring dream of this guy that was chasing me more or less, and it just wouldn't go away. And then out of nowhere, that memory just. Oh yeah, I remember she didn't. She wasn't there when I got up. Wait a minute, I remember three people looking at her when I got up.
Dude, that's so spooky because I also have like weird UFO stuff with my sister.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remembered when I was like going into the sixth grade, my sister had just got her driver's license, and we stayed out late doing some like shopping at the mall for the upcoming school year. And we were driving home and crossing from the parking lot across the alley into our street. We looked up and we saw a UFO crossing from right to left. And this was in the 90s, like long before
Yeah.
there were drones or anything. And it was just a real basic like UFO sighting. It was like five orange lights in the sky, like moving at a steady speed in a straight line. Like you'd think it was a plane, but there were no beacon lights, there was no flashing. It was low, it was big, it was weird. And I talked about it with my sister. I tried to like tell my mom about it, and my sister didn't want to talk about it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of forgot about that for 20 years. And then I was visiting my sister on the mainland and in our 30s. She was probably like close to 40. And we were talking, I brought that up, and she was like, "Oh, yeah, I don't really remember that one super well, but I do remember a different UFO story." And when we started talking about it, it was a different UFO memory that we both saw from different angles. I saw a UFO over my our neighbor's house growing up, and it's like a snapshot in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister wasn't in that memory at all, but she remembers the exact same scene from a different vantage point. She was in the backyard on the swing set, and she remembers more of it than I do. Like I remember like just a UFO up in the sky, but she remembers a UFO in the exact same place coming down and like almost landing and hovering. And she remembers a light coming out of it and her lifting off the ground. And then immediately she wakes up in her bed at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Nobody noticed she was missing,
Oh man,
and she just lost time. So
time
that is
lost.
that is spooky to hear that you also have like a weird UFO thing with your sister.
Yeah, and time lost, man. That is one of the things that has always bothered me. Um, is something happened between those times, but where it happened?
Yeah, you just lose it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like an animal getting tranked on the Serengeti. Like I don't know, maybe
Or
they did
like
some
me,
dental work.
or like me after a few too many tequila shots. So I've lost sometimes that way.
That's
But
probably a more
yeah,
fun way to lose some time.
no, definitely, because at least you can explain it. It's like the shit you can't explain, like what the fuck just happened. No, that stays with you.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so that's a little snippet of some stuff with that with paranormal for me. I have many stories that I will bring up in the future. Um, that is definitely one of the subjects I want to talk about and kind of just empty my thoughts out into. Uh, get your guys' opinion, talk it out with you guys too.
Oh,
Um,
that's a fun one, man. I'm always happy to dive into the
Yeah,
paranormal stuff.
yeah. I have my own stories as well.
yes,
So definitely,
good. That's awesome. Um, so it's been about an hour and 13 minutes. Do you guys want to do
yeah.
another topic? You want to cut it here?
I think it's good to
I
cut it at the hour. I'm pretty good.
yeah. I
Hmm.
just have a final thought
Yes.
on the whole aliens thing. You know, it's ironic that you both have stories of alien, abductions with your sisters.
Yeah.
And these days, it's the aliens that are being abducted by ICE.
Oh man.
Yeah. Man, Abe, I gotta be real with you. How it's gotta be a clusterfuck over there right now, right?
It's no, honestly, it looked a lot worse on the news than it
Oh,
actually
of
was.
course.
Now, the actual shit that's going on with ice, yeah, that's all fucked up, and I've seen some fucked up shit. Um, you know, there's definitely you notice a lot of like there's a car wash near my house. A lot of the people that used to work there aren't there anymore. I don't know if
Yeah.
they're hiding or if they're gone, but yeah, you see the the impact around here. But the whole like protest thing, like yeah, it's mainly been peaceful. You know,
Hmm.
they just kind of it made it seem a lot more violent and
Of
shit.
course,
That's
yeah, they have to dramatize it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I gotta say, I disagree with how it's being approached. I mean, the whole to get a little political at the end, um, where we're at for we're in the United States for anybody that listens in the future, uh, where the United States is at right now is just trash. I mean, I
Hmm.
knew that's where it will always go to with capitalism and things of that nature, which to a degree I support when I feel like it's done right, which we can talk about in the future. Um, but with how it's being handled now, it's wrong. I was raised in America where, give us your sick, you're poor, you're whatever, you're welcome here. And now
Yep.
it's turned into uh, old white ladies demanding that the brown guy goes home and not his home.
Yeah, a decade
Yeah,
of militarizing the police force is really kind of backfiring.
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah. Honestly, the way I grew up was mainly online and online, chat rooms, etc. You didn't run into all this because
Hmm.
it's an open forum most places. It's like you meet people from all over the world, and I thought that was kind of normal. And it's been a very rude awakening, stepping out into the world in my later life. It's like, oh wait, what? Wait, what? Like, huh? You know?
Yes. Yeah.
Totally.
I agree. Yeah, it's made me not trust people in general as much anymore. I wouldn't say jaded, but it's definitely given me the perspective of why is this so acceptable?
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that they wear masks, I understand the concept why, but there's so many times I've seen where people just ask them who they are and they won't respond besides I'm ice. That could be fucking anybody. I could put on a fucking costume and go do that and just kidnap
Yeah.
people. Um, you should be
That's a
able.
good idea.
I imagine that's what some people are doing. Um,
Oh yeah.
that's the thing is like you should be able to trust that the person that's coming to do something of that nature, whether they have a warrant or whatever or not, it doesn't matter. They're going to do it, but they could at least say, "This is who I am. This is
Yeah.
what branch of the company or branch of the government I'm with. This is my supervisor who's here to support me in what I'm doing. I'm taking them."
Here's my name and
Yeah.
badge number.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of have to like
Mm-hmm.
what they're doing is technically
Fucking
illegal federally, but yeah,
Gestapo's.
I,
Yeah.
I mean that's a whole can of worms I didn't mean to open. But
Okay, so thank you guys for joining me in this conversation of Dolphin versus Man and the paranormal things and a little political stuff at the end. Uh,
Oh, it's always fun, man.
it is.
thank you. Yeah, we need to do this more often.
Yes, yeah. I'll try to see when the next best time for me is, and we'll go from there if that's cool with you guys.
Yeah, man.
Sounds
I'm always.
great.
Awesome. Do you guys have any final last words or thoughts?
I would like to just say Bigfoot is real and my friend, and I think Bigfoot could be all of your friends too.
I gotta
Keep
show you.
keep an open heart and an open mind.
I gotta show you this shirt I have that Deanna bought me. It says Uh, even something like if you don't believe in me, I believe in myself. It's a picture of Bigfoot just like going through the woods or something.
Yeah.
Nice.
What about you, Abe? You got any last words?
Just stay safe, stay off drugs, and yeah, just keep on living life.
That's good, man. Um, for my last thought, I don't really got anything besides I got a list of topics we're gonna go through, and I'm just gonna keep adding. My wife, she actually gave me a good topic I want to talk about sometime soon. Is Titanic, if we should raise it or not. Because a lot of people say we shouldn't because it's a mass grave, and I like that topic. So I'd like to get your thoughts on that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Mm.
I never considered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all right. Thank you guys. I'm gonna end the stream, end the recording, and we'll go from there. Uh, if you're watching at home, have fun.